Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant.
Is it really? Is it you I'm looking for?
Here at WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM, you are listening to Say Something Real. And just letting everybody know, the show is going to be a struggle this morning because I can barely talk. The harassment has been unreal in the studio this morning from one party and one party only. While one brother is supportive. You all right, Shell? You need some, Shell? You okay, Shell? This other thing in the studio just got jokes. Now I know how Keith felt when, you should be getting empathy and all you're getting is ribs, jokes. Let me say good morning to the good brother in the studio. Hello, Clark.
Who you with?
Not Jermaine. I'm not with Mr. Rideout. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm so happy my daughter got that job. So
you still.
Listen, I'm telling you.
You still talking about your daughter got this job.
Yeah, she got that job, but I'm proud of her. She's gonna be a manager, so I'm proud of her.
Oh, well, it's George and Wheezy. Let's have a come up song. And you, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm really doing good, but that gonna change. Somebody gonna piss you off, and your voice gonna come back.
You think so?
Yeah.
Somebody
gonna piss
I'm gonna
you
get
off,
mad.
and your
My voice
gonna
gonna come right back.
But you gonna be all right.
Right back. Well, I'm actually supposed to keynote a graduation speech tonight, a high school graduation speech. And I'm trying to get Keisha to do it for me. She laughing like, nah, you're gonna have to do that, player. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel bad for them kids and their families if my voice still sounds like this.
They're gonna understand.
I don't know. But it seems like if I talk low, it doesn't sound as bad. So I guess this is my way to stop yelling. But let me say good morning to the sorry one in the studio. What up, Rada?
Shell.
I just want to say I'm so glad it's not Wednesday. Man, that just would have just took me all the way out. So glad it's not Wednesday.
Shell. First of all, I would like to say that it's supposed to be a beautiful day.
Dude, why is you talking all low? Can't nobody hear you?
I'm trying to match your
Don't
energy.
match me.
Okay.
Don't match me.
Shell, I got my voice. I was trying to match you. But out of all of the animals that God has created,
what?
Why is it that when we lose our voice, we say we going horse and not rabbit, dog, and cat? What's going on with your voice? Why are you hoarse?
He got one in.
So no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No.
Because I'm not going.
I'm
not going HORSE Greenfield. I'm going HOARSE. No, he didn't. Clark, why do you always try to be a team player?
I'm just saying.
When you know people wrong.
Right.
When you know they wrong, Clark, let them be wrong.
He wrong?
Yeah, tell us something. Yeah, he got a point. No, he don't. HORSE, animal. For the kids that's listening, somehow, yeah, no. This feels like a Wednesday.
It's not though.
It feels like a Wednesday.
I'm trying to help you get your voice.
I spoke too soon. It feels like a Wednesday.
Somebody gonna make you get your voice.
I mean,
told you.
HORSE. Why do we? That's not what we go. It's sad, man. It's sad. It is.
You know.
And I'm telling you, it was some people, as soon as you said it, They was like, he sure right.
Why are you horsing?
Hey, hey, cool.
I see people laughing online.
Like, why are you horsing?
Hey, look
Good morning to the family.
Look what cool.
Yeah, I see somebody spelled it out. Oh, that's quite cool. Quite cool was like, come on, bruh. You got to represent black men better than this. Come on, bro. Somebody else said Jesus. somebody said Jesus. What? Horses' natural sound is low and grovelly. Y'all silly, man. What's going on, Colorado? What's happening, girl? Y'all ridiculous, man. Hey, y'all.
Oh, my stomach.
I just love that the person put Jesus.
You know, when everything else failed, call his name. Amen.
I mean, because I'm telling you, it was some listeners that went, he sure right.
That boy good.
Why do we say that instead of bunnies and zebras? Because all y'all. I don't like calling folks out their name, but all y'all.
Just like Keith, I
Kick
love
rocks.
black people all over the world.
Just what you say, Keith?
Keith, I love my black people all over the
And people
world.
don't know that's really an insult. Whenever he says it, it's an insult. He getting ready to clown somebody. You know, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
860 WNOV, the hottest radio station in the country. I'm finna run outside, jump into the ride, put the key in the ignition, activate the transmission, and put it on WNOV, and I'm gonna say something real. You know what I mean? Hey, brothers out there, the good brothers, the positive brothers, old school brothers, talk to them young brothers. Stop that killing, man. We don't need it in our community, and stop the domestic violence, man. And don't say amen, man. This is real. If you want to say amen, go to the church and put a couple dollars in the basket and give it to me. I can put rims on the car. Now you can say amen. Hey, my name is Ray Marcus. I love you, WNOV. I said, Brian, your whole morning staff, and I'm Ray Marcus, and I'm I.
It just
That cat there, boy.
oh my God, could you imagine being around Ray every day?
Hilarious.
Every day. It would be a problem every day to be around his brother.
Can you imagine being him in the room at the same time?
Being him and what?
Said me and Ray Marcus in the room at the same time.
I can't imagine you and
Oh, it's gonna
nobody
be
in the room at the same time. It's the same. It's the same. Let me see. Somebody said, oh, Wanda Montgomery is checking in. Good morning, although it is night here in Bali. Wanda is the international traveler. Wanda, who has subbed for me, the village president of Brown Deer. She is on vacay, and she is in Bali, and she is listening to us from Bali. Good morning, Wanda. I hope everything is going well on the trip. You know, I hope you're looking for my pieces. I was like, hey, bring me something back. And I texted Mark White yesterday because they in Paris. I was like, hey, bring me something back. But can you imagine to go to Paris and then it end up being the hottest days that they have seen in like forever? It was 100 degrees in Paris yesterday. And they're there for a wedding. And like they said, their infrastructure really isn't built for that kind of weather. Like their buses are not air conditioned. Well, y'all both do it at the same time.
I know that feeling.
The bus, they just in there just burning up.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and I think it looked like the wedding might have been outside. I don't know. But the way they were setting stuff up, it looked like the wedding was going to be outside. Cats is over there burned. They said it's going to cool off tomorrow. So I thought about that when I was watching the news last night. I said, man, I'll be hot as a firecracker, go all the way to Paris, and then only to get over there and burn up. And in terms of Bali, you know, this is Indonesia. It's an Indonesian island, world famous. southern hemisphere, located near the Indian Ocean. Just think about, like, Wanda is literally sitting 8 degrees south of the equator. Y'all killing me. At the same time, y'all killing me. Y'all are killing me at the same time. 2 old men in church. But and it was like several countries. Oh, somebody else said my daughter was just in Bali, right back. Oh, brought back a nice Harley. Wait, she brought back a Harley Davidson hoodies. What? Went all the way to Bali and brought back a Harley Davidson hoodie. Well, it's probably got Bali on it.
It might be a different design.
Yeah, but still. Oh, I like the hoodie idea. Wanda, if you're listening, if you see a hoodie, I like the hoodie idea. All right. Got guests coming in this morning in the 8 o'clock hour. So we were kind of at cross wires on yesterday. So got the folks coming in to discuss the Gubernatorial Forum that's happening this Saturday over at North Division. And also got a group of sisters coming in to talk about Danae Blanc. Many of you will remember last year that for the first time ever, Milwaukee hosted Danae Blanc, which is this really cool affair that they do all over the world. And everyone wears white and they have entertainment and, people decorate their own tables and you order your food and you can bring your food with. We had wine tasting event. I mean, it was just really, really nice. I was there. But I was working because I was with Keisha. So, she was doing the wine tasting tent. So I didn't really get to kick it, but I got to walk around and talk to a lot of people. In fact, I went Facebook Live from the event. So we're going to have that group in because it is coming back to Milwaukee for a second year. So tell folks how they can get in on that early because a lot of people, you know how we are in Milwaukee, we'll wait to see because it was brand new. A lot of people wasn't up on it. So then as it got closer and closer, people was like, I want to go. It's sold out now. Can't go. It's too late. So you want to make sure you get in on it this time early. So that's what's happening. Let me go to the phone line real quick, get this person in. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing this morning?
Okay. I have a remedy for that cold.
What's that?
You take one big red onion, cut that onion up in slices, put it in a jar with a top on it, and pour honey in that jar until you fill it up, and let it set for 8 hours. Like today is Thursday. Saturday morning, you begin to take that honey and onion at 2 teaspoons in the morning and 2 teaspoons at night. And I guarantee you, within a couple of days, maybe as late as a week, all that phlegm and stuff will come up out of you, and you'll get well. Cause that's what I do. I'm doing it now.
So let me just go back. You said red onions.
One red onion, cut it up in slices.
Okay.
Put that sliced onion in a jar with a top on it. Pour honey in that jar until you fill it up. And screw the top back on it and let it set for 8 hours.
Got it.
Today is Thursday, Saturday, you begin to take 2 teaspoons in the morning and 2 teaspoons before bed. And that'll bring up all that mucus and stuff out of it. Because that's what I'm finna get ready to do now.
So where'd you get this recipe from?
Off of Facebook.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for passing it along. I appreciate you.
You're quite welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dude, what's wrong with you?
2 things.
What?
By the time you do that, you'll be dead. You let it sit for 93 hours.
He said 8 hours.
you be dead.
He did not say 93 hours.
And then, won't you just give the doctor an apple? Keep the doctor away.
Oh, you know what? I was salty. I saw this thing on apples. Remember back in the day, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
So I like just that quick. I can't even think of the name of them, but I like this one brand of apple.
Granny Smith?
Nope. Honeycrisp.
Yes.
I love.
Fire.
Yes, I love.
Yes.
They like the best apples to
Yeah,
me in the
yeah,
world.
it is
I love.
real sweet.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
but it's crisp.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love Honeycrisp apples,
Yes.
and they cost more, a little bit more
Yes,
than
they
some of the
do.
others.
They so good.
So I'm watching this show, and they were talking about, the impact of that apple a day, and they said that the best apple that gives you the most bang for buck, most nutrients, is actually that basic red.
Really?
Yeah, that red apple. That, what is it called?
So not the Granny Smith. Granny Smith is a green one.
I can't think
Whatever
But
it
I
was.
know, yeah.
Yeah, just that plain.
The dark red one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like you get more nutrients and everything from that apple than you do from all other apples.
Hey, but that
Honeycrisp is
that
fire.
is unbelievable.
I love that apple.
Yeah.
But so I was like, and sometimes you think, and I didn't think that in this case, but you think you're spending more money or you're doing this, and no, that red basic plain apple has more nutrients than all of the others. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
It was good seeing you at Juneteenth. And my question is, did you see anybody doing any line dances at Juneteenth with all those people?
Yeah.
I didn't, because I was posted up at the at Rise and Grind at our booth, so I didn't see anybody.
That
Did you see it?
So wonderful.
Oh, if we had done it.
Thinking, yeah, that would have been just with all those people there. Just imagine.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, because I saw they did it in Harlem. I watched
yes,
some of the Juneteenth celebrations.
Parade.
Yeah, no, this was Juneteenth celebrations.
For the Obama Center?
No, in Harlem for their Juneteenth celebrations. They were doing it in the streets. They had Harlem just on lock, and they were line dancing and stuff in the streets in Harlem for Juneteenth.
It was one of the biggest line dances?
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest, but they did it though.
Okay.
But yes,
Speaking
ma'am, go
of
ahead.
Harlem, there's something going on with Representative Hakeem Jeffries and the IPAC and him supporting Israel over America and the new mayor there. Can you touch on that so that we can get a regular people understanding if you have time?
Yes, ma'am, I will do that.
Because my thing is, I thought we wanted Hakeem to be the speaker eventually, but he got this controversy going on with the Israel stuff. And then just a quick happy birthday to Mr. Keon Jackson Malone. His birthday is on June 28th.
Yep. All right.
Thank you, Michelle. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, I briefly yesterday mentioned that the results in some of the primary elections around the country yesterday, and then in general elections, that there were a number of Democratic socialists who won their races. 3, and thank you to my soror because I hadn't seen it, just because everything else that was going on. But 3 of the candidates that Mamdani supported in New York emerged victorious, and Hakeem Jeffries had not endorsed any of those 3 people. And there is this burgeoning rift, differences of opinion within the Democratic Party structure about how we move forward, particularly with longstanding ties with APEC, which is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or APAC is really the way it should be said, the Public Affairs Committee. And Hakeem Jeffries, and like most American elected officials at the federal level, very pro-Israel. And these committees or these groups give a lot of money to these candidates, and people began to believe that it jades the way they make decisions about supporting Israel, the way they push back on questioning, what's being done in the region, what's being done with American money in tow. And so there is this rift, and a lot of people are saying, I think Joy Reid the other day was talking about how she wouldn't be supporting many Democrats that align themselves with little scrutiny, no room for questioning of Israel, because of all the things that are unfolding, that have unfolded in Gaza, that we see going on right now in terms of Lebanon. And so Hakeem Jeffries is, getting caught in squalls. And there's one thing I will say, and I got to go to break, but there's one thing I will say. And I talked about this when Bernie Sanders ran for office, because Bernie Sanders, who's an independent, but many of the Democratic Socialists, they roll with Bernie Sanders. And when Bernie Sanders was running for president, Bernie Sanders, there was this whole rift back and forth that he thought that he should be able to have access to Democratic Party assets to help his campaign. When I say assets, so we're talking about our mailing list. We're talking about our funding sources. We're talking about the names of all, the people in the different parts of the country that are allies, that could be resources. They wanted access to the infrastructure. And even I said then, you want access to an infrastructure that you did not help create, that you did not help build, that you have not put anything in on it. And one of the things that Hakeem Jeffries said yesterday is that, yep, y'all want some seats in terms of being Democratic Socialists, but make no mistake, this infrastructure, in terms of the way the Democrats are currently in play, it's a solid infrastructure. And y'all still got to come through this way. As I said yesterday, roughly about 100,000 people right now around the country are identifying as Democratic Socialists. That in comparison to the two main parties, Republicans and Democrats, that number is, it's a very small fraction of engaged voters. That does not mean you don't have the ability to influence local races. You don't have the ability to influence outcomes, as we saw in New York. Because again, what I have been saying for the last several months, 90 million voters who were eligible to vote stayed home in the Harris-Trump election, in the November 2024 election. They stayed home. So even if you are small in numbers, but you show up, and the folks that have the could run up the board easily stay home, you can end up swaying and impacting the election outcomes. So let me take a break. I'll mention a couple other quick things that Hakeem has said. Minority House Leader Jeffries has said, but they're going to have a real problem on the East in terms of some of this stuff. How does that translate in Wisconsin and around the rest of the country? It'll be interesting to see. But let me take a break. I'll be right back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM.
Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, folks, welcome back to Jesus Christ. My voice sounds atrocious. Man, it's bad. Welcome back to the show. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Oh, hello. Hello, Michelle.
Hey.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hey, I'll try to take a minute. Hate to do this to you, but yesterday you had a great conversation. Very, very deep and very profound, talking about world affairs. I appreciate it. I really do. It's way beyond my understanding. I'm stuck on a different 40 square miles in the world. I'm stuck on a 40 square mile section of my town where I live that has no food, that has no pharmacies, no medical, no development for the past 5, 6, 10, 20 years, no safety, being patrolled by a mercenary force of people from the suburbs telling us what to do. Obviously, I'm talking about the north side of Milwaukee.
Right.
And this thing going on with Midtown is a perfect, here's the word, a perfect example of this whole situation for 20 years. Midtown was formed in 2001, and the Common Council just closed the Midtown
TIF district, which is a financing district. So this TIF district, where they got 6 million, 8 million, 10 million, 20 million over the years, supposedly put into Midtown, and it was all a scam, Michelle. The original builder of Midtown walked away with his money. And then it was resold, and now we're stuck with a Lowe's that is a storage unit. No jobs, no activity, no concern for the neighborhood. We have to find out who was responsible for all those weeds last year. Nobody seemed too concerned about fixing that up. But now I found, Michelle, that they've taken $5 million out of Midtown cash to pay off the debt over at Century City, where the slaughterhouse was going to go. But not just that, Michelle. They took $3.3 million out of a development fund. You have to listen to this. This is unbelievable. This development fund of $3.3 million was formed in 2013. Tom Barrett, Rocky Marcoux, all the guys downtown. A development fund because of the Lowe's situation. They put this $3.3 million into a development fund to placate the neighborhood, to placate the aldermen, to get them off their back. Well, do you know what happened just this past couple of months? They took that $3.3 million of cash and took it back downtown. That money sat there from 2013 until today, never being used. No concern about the neighborhood. I actually talked to a guy from Redevelopment Authority. This is the entity downtown that handles all of the cash, all of the money, all of the financing that would go into Stamper's district and Rainey's district, all the aldermen over the years. This is where the money comes from. This gentleman said that Midtown was a success. Can you believe that, Michelle? This is the guy working for development in the city of Milwaukee, and he says that Midtown is a success. Well, anyway, let me just finish with this. The whole situation going on with Midtown right now is to enable this new developer who got stuck with this building, and he thought he could come in and steamroll the city and put another storage unit. I hope everybody can see. This is all that they see the north side as being. This is just a storage unit. You don't have to worry about people dying. They don't have to worry about safety. They don't have to worry about children. They don't have to worry about weeds. They don't have to worry about anything. If they can get their storage unit into these big, beautiful buildings that you and I paid for. You and I paid for these buildings. And these developers are walking all over us. And to put the data center in there, that is, in my mind, that is just a ploy. That is a diversion. The whole effort here is to allow the zoning to be changed. And Michelle, there are lawyers out there better than me, but as soon as you get that zoning changed, that developer has property rights. Then he can take you to court. Then he can do anything he wants with that property. This is all, I've watched this for 26 years. I've been to every meeting. I haven't been to them. I've watched and read and studied all of the meetings, all the planning commission, all the money. Been to every budget hearing. This is a scam. Just follow the money, Michelle. I really appreciate the time. I know I'm going long, but
nope, you're fine. You're fine. And thank you as always for the calls. Definitely. Always appreciate the commitment to make sure that the local issues are being covered. Some of the things.
Michelle, if I may, just one last. I just looked at my notes.
You okay?
In 2004, Midtown had an incremental value of $31 million. Today, it has an incremental value of, say it with me, $31 million. And we live it. I live on the north side. We live on the north side. We've seen this. There's been nothing as far as development. No vision, no plan. Affordable housing, low-income housing, slaughterhouse, cutting down thousands and thousands and thousands of trees. That's on the agenda pretty soon. This is we're in a serious world of hurt here, and where is the commissioner of city development? Duke graduate, should be on top of the game here, and I don't think anybody even knows his name. Thanks, Michelle.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Look, so I did note that there was going to be the closure of what was considered the TIF, and that's the tax incremental financing districts, and this area, which is Hilton. So it's like downtown. So it spans from downtown to Granville, quite frankly. And so you got the Hilton Hotel Parking Ramp District, Midtown, Grand Avenue, and New Arcade and Granville Station. So all of this is included in what's getting ready to close. It's not just Midtown in terms of this this TIF district. It's a span of properties that will be included in or areas that will be included in what's happening. I share concerns about what development looks like. Again, the questions that were raised by people that attended the Midtown meeting. And for me, when this caller says that some of this is a ruse, this is a shield cover for something else, that was one of the first things I said when I started to look at what I was beginning to hear, that if the 19,000 foot AI center that's being proposed for Midtown wasn't able to get approved, that the deal could fall through. So the low income housing units, 200 units, the Capitol Library, new renovation would be, there, or new build would be there. And then all of this room for a storage facility, all of that just seemed off to me. So if you're and then the fact that Mark Chambers, the alderman for the area, was reported to have said that they could not disclose who this developer was in terms of, or who this individual was or company is regarding the AI data center or computational research, whatever you want to call it. All of it began to sound real shysty. Folks in the meeting began to feel the same way. How can an entire project of this scale be anchored on, if this small little piece of it doesn't get done, then the whole deal could be scrapped? So it definitely requires understanding a lot more about the issues. But these TIF districts, they're supposed to freeze base property value and then direct the growth above that baseline to pay for all project costs. So when you see a district getting this, is supposed to help the community. As the caller points out, we're no better today in some regards than we were when this whole thing was first created. How do you get to, manage this project now, or these dollars now, I should say, that have been sitting on hold for all this time, untapped, unused, and then now we see them going to other places. So what, at the end of the day, that was intended to help that Midtown area and other areas included in this, what does that look like? Where does that money go? I understand the frustration. I haven't done the deep dive that probably is required, but the city did include this in their 2025 budget actions. So it has definitely been talked about already. And I'm looking, it's one piece in particular I'm looking for. Because the way somebody tried to frame it was closing the 4 districts was a one-time bookkeeping and policy moment, a reset that returns previously captured growth to the regular tax rolls. hands Milwaukee leaders fresh choices. Because I had seen the article about it and I went to go pull it up. They can use the added breathing room to lower rates, retire obligations, bolster services. The real story will emerge as the Common Council finishes its budget work and follow-up reporting reveals how much of that $15 million actually reaches Milwaukee property owners in the form of lighter tax bills, because that was what was being pushed, that by tapping into some of these dollars, we are going to be able to offset tax bills. But I'm like, $15 million is not a lot of money. So you start talking about offsetting property tax bills. What you talking about? $10, $15? That money literally being, used in the area and produce a greater return on the investment. But we'll see. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. I got callers on the line. I'll get them when I come back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We'll be right back.
With your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. Got a caller. Let's go straight to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Angela.
How are you?
Under the weather right now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, I don't know exactly what your topic is this morning, but I just wanted to say this. Like, the police want the neighbors to get involved in whatever they see may be something that's disadvantaged in the neighborhood, to report it, this, that, and the third. So, but then they ain't doing what they supposed to do when it is being reported. I'm not understanding that theory there. Because, it was a big incident that went on over here for 3 days. Finally, one night I got some sleep. It woke me up. So, I'm doing whatever I'm supposed to do. And so then they didn't do anything. The first time, they never showed up. The second time, these people came back in 2 big old SUVs with a whole bunch of people. The one girl, she was handling hers till all of them got on her. But then when they came back and, I did what I did, they still didn't do nothing. Flashed the lights on the people and kept going.
So this was like a fight going on in the area?
Yes. A big one.
And so you call the police the first time, they don't show. Then
right.
You call a second time, somebody shows up, but they don't intervene.
Nope. All they did, the kids sat down, and I'm letting them know none of them people live there. So they just flashed the lights. The kids cussed and throwing fingers up at them, and they kept going.
Did they get out the squad car, or they just?
They didn't. No, ma'am, they did not. They did not.
Have you called the department in your area to speak to the community liaison or to complain to anybody?
No, I didn't know who I was supposed to call after that.
So you probably are in the Silver Spring.
I'm in the 4th district.
Yep, 4th district. That's Silver Spring. So it's easy to get the the name of the captain over there to be able to make a formal complaint about, how the officers, in your opinion, failed to respond, didn't even get out the car. The captain over there, it's a woman. What's her name? Hang on. Janet is the name of the captain over there. And you can.
What did you say it was?
Her name is Teresa Janik, Janick.
Janick. Okay.
Yep. Teresa. And then to request to speak to her, or at least the community liaison. And I'll have to figure out who. Let me see if I can figure it out real quick. Who is the community liaison for 4th? Do you ever go to their meetings?
I don't be knowing nothing about it. I just talked to Mr. Taylor, and he told me I talked to Miss Pratt on Juneteenth. We had a nice conversation. She had something going on at McGovern Park, but I didn't know anything about it. I don't get no information. And the block captain we so-called have, you know, he ain't doing whatever he's supposed to be doing because I'm doing his job when I'm able to.
So yeah, they have regular community meetings, and I'm looking because yep, they just did they safe summer kickoff, not even like on June 23rd, not even a couple of days ago.
Right. I don't get any information about nothing.
So yeah, so you can reach out to the 4th District Police Department, tell them you want to be connected to the community liaison and you want to get on their email list. So you'll know when they meet. And I think most of these community liaisons meet once a month with the district residents to tell them what's going on in the district, get complaints, get information, provide resources. So yeah, just tell them, one, you want to complain about what went on yesterday, but two, you need to be connected to the community liaison. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you all, most of these districts, they hold monthly meetings. I remember a lot about 4th District because when Lakeisha was a state rep, that was her district that she did a lot with. But you can meet with these people to figure out what's going on. And always, if you don't get the response that you are looking for in terms of response times to a situation, an incident, call into the district, ask to speak to the chief or supervisor so that the people can be made aware of what's going on. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle, I know you got somebody, so I'm just going to make something really quick. Please look up Dalia Ziada, D-A-L-I-A, Ziada, Z-I-A-D-A, Dalia Ziada. And if you get a chance, because she's really incredible, I think it'll change your life. I think it'll seriously change your life. D-A-L-I-A-Z-I-A-D-A, Dalia Ziada. She's an Egyptian Muslim woman, what they call part of the Muslim reform movement. So, really incredible individual, really incredible story.
All right, thank you.
Can you remember her name? Can you say her name to me?
Oh, I mean, I know who she is. So
you do?
I do.
What do you think of her?
She does a lot of.
I know you got to go.
I will just say, anytime somebody is advocating, to make people understand culturally what's going on. She does a lot of TikTok videos, media, and so I find some of her points interesting. But yeah, we can have a conversation. We can have a conversation about her, but I just take everything with a grain of salt. I'm gonna just say it like that. And only because I got guests coming in, I can't get all the way to it. But we can talk about her. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Have fun. You're not going to be back till Monday, right?
Right. Thursday is my last day for the week.
So sad.
It's okay.
I missed you. Man, I got to wait till Monday. Horrible. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
No, she when if you listen to her, she talks about like when you are reading the Quran, and she talks about Palestine and if there's supposed to be such a thing of Palestine, and because this is the whole 2-state nation thing. So like I said, I don't have time to really deal with it right now, but let me see. I'm gonna say this. She kind of, well, I won't say it right now because then I need to be able to back up what I said. So I'll do it. I'll do it later. But not really life changing for me, but okay. All right. So let me do this because I'm expecting guests. But if they're not here, I'm gonna bring in the other guests. Jermaine, can we bring the other guests in, please? And then when the other folks arrive, I can move them or see if they're here. Yeah. All right, y'all. Sorry, we try to make sure we got this thing together. I'm sorry, I was just trying to look and see. While I do that, let me go back to something real quick on the Hakeem Jeffries, because somebody said, could you expand more. Somebody else just hit me up with a text message, because what's the problem with Hakeem? And it is the it's the allegiance, again, in some cases blind, in terms of Israel. And one of the things that I would always caution, particularly in the Black community, because AIPAC will sponsor, like most Black pastors that have gone to Jerusalem, they've gone on the dime of AIPAC. They have paid to bring people over. You get a certain version of events, and then a lot of these Black pastors come back to the States, and as far as I'm concerned, they carry in water for AIPAC. And I just think in order to be fair about how you look at some of these issues impacting that region, that you got to hear from both sides. You got to you have to be careful about who influences your opinion. And I just watched Black pastor after Black pastor run over to Jerusalem on AIPAC's dime, and then you listen to them when they come back, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, because y'all got one side of this story. And I'm not saying that everything you heard was wrong, bad, or incorrect, but I'm saying you got one side of the story. And as we know, there are always two to any conflict, and then there's a truth somewhere in the middle. So Hakeem Jeffries has done, like a lot of legislators, that same junket. AIPAC pays for you to go to, Jerusalem. They put money in your coffers in terms of campaign contributions. It just becomes a whole thing. And as far as I'm concerned, it jades the way people critically look at what's happening. It just does. All right. So with that being said, let me take one quick break so I can just go cough, and then I'll be right back.
With your host, Michelle Bryant, on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So I told you I had a couple of guests coming in. The first set of guests are here to talk about something that is relatively new to Milwaukee, but that has been happening around the world, in fact. Dene Blanc, which I had an opportunity to attend last year, although in a limited capacity because I was there as the help, working in the wine tent. Working. Man, I'm telling you, I got a 15-minute break to walk around and see everything. It was beautiful and incredible. But we have some folks that are here today that are part of the organizing team that brings this amazing event to the city. We understand that it is returning for a second iteration that we have, I think, a date confirmed. So let me welcome to the show a few people. On the phone lines, we have Demetria Morgan and Trinetta Pitts. And then in studio, we have Vivian King, decked out in her Delta Sigma Theta regalia.
But tell them I'm all white except for this. Don't wear this to Dene and Blanc. You can't have red, but you can have the white.
You can have the white. Look, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good morning, Michelle. We are wonderful.
All right, so let's kick this whole conversation off. Viv, you called to get us scheduled and set up. Where do we begin in terms of describing to the community what they are in store for?
Well, I went last year and it was amazing. And I think Demetria does the best job in explaining what this is because she has been to ones in Atlanta, in Chicago. She's been all over. And so, Demetria, can you tell everybody what we have in store for them on August 15th?
Oh, we got our date.
Absolutely. And I can share to a certain extent. One of the mystiques about Dene Blanc is we do not share a lot of details about the event because we like for the magic to unfold as the night progresses. So, as you mentioned, Michelle, Dene Blanc has been around since 1985. It originated in Paris, and it's currently in 120 cities, 40 countries. It came to the United States in 2001 in New York, of all places. And we are excited to be bringing it here to Milwaukee again for the second year. As Vivian mentioned, the date is Saturday, August 15th at a location to be undisclosed location. That's part of the magic of the Neon Blanc, is that our guests do not know where they will be having their experience, and they won't know that until they actually arrive on the night of the event. So they will go to various departure points throughout the city based on the departure points that they select. They will be met by a table leader who will escort them, and a group leader who will escort them to the secret location. And once they arrive at that secret location is where the magic unfolds. And essentially, the Neon Blanc is an upscale, elegant, picnic-style dinner that takes place in a very public location that is generally not meant for a picnic-style dinner. So we go to iconic locations throughout the city that will highlight some of the history of the city that is meaningful in some way. And then we just kind of let the magic happen between entertainment, sponsor activation, the community, the culture, the food, the fashion, the music. It's just a wonderful experience. We don't call it an event because it's not like any other event we've ever planned or attended.
So Trinetta, did you attend last year, and had you been to previous experiences? And if so, how did what we did in Milwaukee compare?
Yes, I have attended previous events in Jamaica, Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, and it was wonderful. And Milwaukee event as well. Milwaukee event, I was one of the hosts last year, and it was a great event. It was the magic that unfolded, and being a host of the event just made it even better because I was able to plan it from the beginning and see all the behind scenes that goes behind work that goes into it behind the scenes, which was magical. And then just to see a place that we take from a blank canvas and just fill it with beautiful art of people dressed in all white with activation points and, something that you would never see. And then when you leave the place, it's spotless clean. You go back the next day, you would never know that an event was there.
Mm-hmm. So a number of people either had the opportunity, because people are like, okay, so I know I'm supposed to wear white, but in terms of food and, table settings, and people were just over the top about, do I order food? Do I bring my own food? How does this aspect of it work? And so I remember all of the antsiness leading up to this moment last year. So can you take just a second to talk about that? Because some of the table decorations were so over the top beautiful that, people were like, is this custom? How did this happen? So talk a little bit about that piece of it. And
for the table.
Yes, go ahead, Jeanette.
Okay, for the table decorations. For this year, we are bringing Paris to Milwaukee. So that is the Milwaukee theme. So for the table decorations, a lot of people did all of their work pre. They set up their tables at home first to see exactly what it's going to look like. And they bought all the material. So everything on your table should be white. You can have accent of gold and accent of silver, but everything should be white. And you can go out, you can have an Eiffel Tower on your table. You can have purses, bags, pearls, jewelry. But it is a thing that each person set up their style or the whole table. Sometimes the group, say whatever table leader you have, you decide to do something together. And everybody brings their part. That makes it easy. Say, I just need to bring the plate and the silverware. Someone else may bring the wine glasses and the champagne glasses. So it makes it easy if you get together with your group, your table leader, and decide to do a theme together. So you can make it a theme together because it's basically a party within a party.
Because that's the one thing I want to make sure that our listeners understand. You are helping to create this experience. Right. So you are decorating and, setting out your own table. You're bringing those things with you. In terms of the food, I know last year there was an option, I thought, to potentially place a food order. Is that
Yes.
still in place for this year?
Yes, it is. And we
Absolutely.
have a wonderful caterer that has we went and tasted the food last week. It was delicious. My favorite was like the salmon, but Demetrius was a vegetarian dish. But when I say the food from Donna Delectables is amazing. So yes, we have an e-store set up where you purchase your wine. You have to buy all your wine because of the state of Wisconsin from us, but you can bring your own food if you like. But to make it easy on yourself, you can just go to our e-store. And in our e-store, we have a list of items for you, from vegetarian dishes to salmon. We also have steak. So whatever, and we have it packaged up for you to even make it even easier. So this year, we went all out on Friday. Guess we have a lot of surprises set up.
All right. So for folks that are like, I'm in, I want to do it. Where do they go to get tickets? Who do they talk to? Is there a website? What should they be doing?
Yes, we would like for them to join our fan list. Also, first of all, we'd like for them to go like our pages on social media, Instagram and Facebook, which is Danae Blanc Milwaukee, and for Facebook and as Instagram. And then from there, they can also go directly to our page, which is Danae Milwaukee Danae Blanc, which is DINERENBLANC.com and /fan. And then they can register and purchase their ticket because all phases open today. So all of our phases are open. So everyone is able to purchase a ticket before it sells out.
And look, I mentioned it before you guys came on. Folks were trying to get in because in Milwaukee, we wait. We wait. We not sure. This was new. Girl, what they talking about? Bring your own food and set up your own table. You know how we can do.
Bring your own chair.
Yeah, like wait, what? And so
we should
go ahead, Demetria.
One of the things that we did last year, just kind of on a small level, a small scale, is we offered tables and chairs to be included with your ticket price. And this year we have increased that number.
Okay.
So we have substantially more tickets available this year that actually include the tables and chairs. So that was, one of the things that, Milwaukee has to get used to is doing that. And so to alleviate that being one of the, pressure points for people, we've just included more tables and chairs. And so you just pay $20 more if you'd like to have your table and chair included.
Well, look, I'm just encouraging people to get your tickets early because,
Absolutely.
as I said, at the last minute, we have folks calling the radio station, texting me, Michelle, how do I get in? You don't. From what I understood, it was sold out. You don't. There is no plug. You gotta be on time.
There's not a standby list.
Exactly. There's no wait list. Ladies, well, I will tell you, I would love to have you guys back in before we actually hit the August 15th date, just to spend a little bit more time explaining to people what the experience is. Because like I said, this is still new for us. And, but to see it, as I said, people had sparklers out there, the little napkin dance thing, the napkin wave.
Yeah.
That was, and it was so funny because I think they played Sweet Caroline.
Exactly.
And, I'm waiting to see all these black people sing Sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum. They were all in. I was loving it. And it was racially diverse. It was people from everywhere, all walks of life that were there. Intergenerational group, but it was definitely the grown and sexy crew. I want to be clear. I want to be clear about that. And the outfits were just incredible. The thought that people put in to what they were wearing, I felt like I was transported for a moment.
Totally.
On one level, I was like, it didn't feel like Milwaukee, but then on another level, it's like, this is what Milwaukee is. We just don't always appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So to you and the organizers, thank you all so much for bringing this to the city again. I know it's a lot of work, and look, y'all got like, what is it, less than 60 days?
60 days.
So we will get you back in to talk about it, just to remind people, because right now, where do they go to find the tickets? Somebody just inbox me. Hit me on Messenger. Where do they go to find the tickets?
Milwaukee.dinerenblanc.com. And that's DINERENBLANC.com.
All right.
Milwaukee.dinerenblanc.com.
Okay, family. For the listeners that are hitting me up, I'll make sure that we post that information. Ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate you making time for us this morning. It's good to hear your voices, Dimitri and Trinetta, and always good to see Viv. And we will get you ladies back on once before, because again, this was a huge success last year, and folks are ready for it this time.
And we want it to be bigger and better, and it will be if everybody comes out.
Definitely.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Let's Milwaukee, let's show out.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you this morning.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yes. Thank you. All right, family. So look, I'm getting ready to get the folks in that are going to be talking about the upcoming Gubernatorial Candidates Forum happening at North Division. So give me just a quick second to make a quick transition, and we'll get those folks in. Viv, appreciate you, sis.
Always
working.
You.
I understand real quick before you go, accolades are in order. Can you bring the other guests in, please?
I am a finalist in the International Impact Awards Author of the Year. So come on my Facebook page or LinkedIn or Instagram.
And which book is this for?
Me. This is for Grace Welcomes the Lady Next Door, book 1 in the Growing Up Polite series.
Wonderful. So we'll make
Grace
sure.
is making waves, y'all.
Yeah, keep us posted. Let us know what we're doing. But huge honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, come on in, Abra. And we got Walter too. All right, so we got 3 chairs.
And, Brian Rogers, who's the Environmental Justice Director at the WNOV, who's doing this.
He's coming too?
Yeah, he popped in.
Where is he?
Here he comes. Is he sitting?
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
Hey, Pastor, how you doing today? Oh, Rogers.
Brian, this is Michelle.
Hey, Brian, how are you today? Oh, look, the voice is tore up today. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize I would have had another chair brought in. We okay? All right. Are we still on? We good? All right, folks. So as I told you, and we're trying to get folks situated here in the studio, we have a gubernatorial candidates forum that is coming up on June 27th, this Saturday, over at North Division High School. The time that they have listed, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And all of the candidates have been invited. A number of them have affirmed that they plan to be in attendance. We do know that since the flyer was made, one candidate has actually dropped out of the race, Missy Hughes, but everyone else is tapped and on board. So we have some of the key organizers and individuals connected to this effort here in the studio with us. So let me just say good morning to everyone. Hey. Well, let me just start with you, Abra, and then we'll go down, have folks introduce yourselves, tell them what organization you're connected to. So, Abra, we'll start with you.
So my name is Abra Fortson. I am a 20-year plus Walnut Way resident, but I am also a community engagement strategist, and I consult to organizations to help them with strategic community engagement. And so I'm consulting on this opportunity with Walnut Way. I get to work where I live and play where I live and do all those things unbridled that I wasn't able to do before. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to collaborate with my residential organization that's helping community get up off its knees and advocate for itself. And I'm excited about this unprecedented event right in the heart of the city of Milwaukee at North Division. This is big.
All right. Well,
this is big.
Let's keep moving. What's going on, Pastor?
Hey, how
you
doing?
doing up in here?
Yeah, you got to take care of that.
Man.
That's the money maker.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And got to keep. keynote of graduation tonight. I feel sorry for them kids.
All right.
I would need a sign language interpreter.
They're used to it. You
Look,
got it.
look. So,
Pastor Lanier, Walter Lanier, pastor of the Progressive Baptist Church, also collaborating with Pastor Lewis, with Souls to the Polls and Pastors United, focusing in particular on those organizations to generate turnout. And then we also recently formed in December of last year, 2025, the Fight for Our Lives Coalition, which is up to about 30 organizations now, protect lives, build power, and advance a healthy democracy. If you know my work, I'm always trying to just connect us and get our puzzle pieces together, because I believe we have all the talent that we need to be powerful. We just have to get it aligned and connected and moving in the same direction. So those are the couple of organizations. We're really looking forward to seeing us down at North Avenue, and for people to understand that the government is supposed to be responsive to our wants and needs, but we got to have some wants and needs and make some demands.
Absolutely.
all right. Young man on the end down there.
Hello, good morning, Milwaukee. This is Wayne Ashley. I'm here representing the Community Brainstorming Conference as a co-chair with Martha Love. The main reason I'm here today is to make sure that all the Community Brainstorming Conference community support the Gubernatorial National Forum and be down at North Division tomorrow or Saturday, June 27th.
All right. And Brian?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I saw in the comments, they said, who are those fine black men? So Wayne and Walter, yeah.
My wife with me?
I work at Walnut Way Conservation Corps, and I run a statewide organizing initiative called the WEB, which is Wisconsin Eco Justice Base Builders, and we're the ones with a lot of other organizational support putting on this forum. I appreciate Pastor Lanier bringing up the Democratic question, because I think that's really who I'm represented, in addition to the great neighborhood of Lindsay Heights. Just people who are tired. Like, I was at Walgreens this morning getting a box of cereal for like $12, a $12 box of cereal. It was like $7, but still, it's crazy.
Either way, right?
Just for a box.
Yeah.
But, and some milk. And the dude outside, a woman had walked by him like he didn't even exist. And he was like, yo, I exist. And I stopped and talked to him for a little while. Mike, he's from Denver. Serious situation on his leg. He's got blisters on his hand. Like, dude is suffering, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's asking him what we should do about that.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking him. So he feels the indignity. And so we have a society we have contempt and hatred for the poor. Mm-hmm. Look at any of our policies and you see, like, we don't care mm-hmm. whether people are okay. So we're gonna have to take care of each other.
All right, so look, folks, what we'll do is take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll dive into what some of the goals of this forum are, and how do we make sure that the community understands the significance of this upcoming election, why it is important to play in that primary on August 11th. So give us one quick second. We'll be right back.
With your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family. Is my mic on? I'm good. Thank you, babe. I appreciate you. All right, family, welcome back to the show. So as I said, we have a coalition of folks, organizers, groups that have come to the table to bring a gubernatorial forum to the community. We don't get these opportunities often, yet alone, it's amazing how North Division has been pivotal in a lot. I think about a lot of people for the first time saw Barack Obama at North Division, and Martha Love was in the background on that, saying, he coming to the city, he coming to North Division. So the ability to make sure that our community is included and relevant. So let's take a minute and talk about the necessity of this forum. One of the things I mentioned during the commercial break is that we've seen some of them be broken down in terms of specificity along a particular issue or set of issues. Let's go with Walter for a second. In terms of some of the things that you all are hoping to cover in this forum, what comes to mind, or what are you planning?
and what comes to mind, so I'm going to be talking about workforce development, but for me in particular, what I'm interested in with the candidates is it kind of goes along with what you were saying is your accessibility to community, your not only a willingness, but understanding that you need to be responsive to the demands. You don't have to do what the community says do, but we do need to hear from you. You do need to be accessible and transparent with your work. And so that's what is fundamental with me is this should not be so rare that candidates make their way to North Division or to the community. We were talking at the break about that. You were saying how rare that it is. And so it's really in part for Walter, for the candidates, but it's almost more for me, for the community to get a deeper understanding that when we come together, we can make demands more powerfully of the system. And so I've got a message for candidates, but it's really for the community.
So Brian, let me pull you into the conversation. When you did your opening, you talked about seeing someone who maybe was homeless outside of a store and that people walk past, indifferent to the issues that they were facing. What do you all in your organization come to the table anticipating will happen with this forum? And pull up to the mic for me, please.
They've done these before, right? You were saying on the break, they have political ambition, so they're trying to get our votes. This is not about the candidates, however. It is in some way, but it is about public discernment, right? The community, can we ask more powerful questions of these individuals who presume to lead our state out of what, if you're living in it, we're definitely in a crisis moment and things don't seem to be getting better. So what, not just policy ideas, but I need to know what kind of human being these people are. Do they have the empathy? Do they have the critical thinking skills? Do they have the deep listening skills? Do they have the intellectual humility to recognize that wisdom is widely distributed? Do they have the moral imagination to create things that don't yet exist? And do they have the political courage to actually bring that into being? Anybody can memorize some talking points. Anybody can memorize what their staff put together as, you know what I'm saying, as far as platform. We don't need politicking. I know y'all can do that. So what we need, again, to Pastor Lanier's salient point, we need a public who is ready to actually assume the full responsibility of freedom, or we're not free. So either we are or we're not. And right now, I think we're living relatively slavishly, and we don't like ourselves for it, and it makes us very difficult to actually treat other people with dignity. The purpose of this forum is part of a larger, more long-term, radical democratic project to actually govern the institutions that are required for leading a basic, dignified life. Water, food, energy, education, childcare, transportation. Why are we not talking about these things as though we own them? We own them. So either we were going to let people that are... The ancient Greeks warned us very clearly about this. They said, if you have elections, you will see a concentration of power. You will see a hierarchy of power form with those people who have education, social connections, wealth. What do we have in this country? So either we're going to do democracy, which is a daily disciplined practice, or we're going to be governed. And that's what this is about. And any one of these candidates, if we want to select the best of those who can get us closest to our ideals, they're going to have to give us more than talking points, and they're certainly going to have to give us more than whatever platforms are up on their websites.
So as a group that has been at the driving force of many of these kinds of conversations, community brainstorming, there is not an elected office in this city, this state, this town, that if you were running, you didn't come through community brainstorming. So Wayne, for you all, and you all are doing something kind of different. So, because community brainstorming normally would be happening on this Saturday. So how is this going to work? Do we still go to St. Matthews and then go to North Division, or what are people doing this morning or Saturday?
The community brainstorming community is not going to have a forum this Saturday at St. Matthews. What we are doing is supporting the Gubernatorial Forum at North Division. So we want all of our people to show up at North Division and to support this forum. We want you there asking questions. We want you there in front of the candidates. We want all of our people there. You'll have a light continental breakfast, but you're supposed to show up and support the forum. Do not show up at St. Matthew's. Please show up at the forum and get into the candidate's head.
Okay, that's a tall order. Get into their head. Abra, so as you have been helping to kind of spearhead and figure out the logistics of this whole thing, what do you all come into the room? One of the things on the flyer, no more backroom politics. Help folks with that particular portion of this.
Anybody who knows me knows that I have been challenging community to get up off its knees. We cannot continue to treat.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Well, because a lot of times in community, we are powerless because we have been rendered to our knees. You know, we don't know how to, we've lost our ability to self-advocate. We treat our elected officials like rock stars. We hold nobody accountable, and we're crawling. This is our community being dismantled systemically. And so I often tell people that it's time for us to get up off of our knees and walk in our power. We elect officials to go represent us, not to think for us. So it's for me, this is especially when you talk about people who are in the lived experience of poverty. I live in the center of the lived experience of poverty, and people are so inundated with survival that they can't even focus on thinking about who's going to represent them. So these are the conversations that I'm having with the brother that's standing outside of Galt's Foods on his knees, literally. That's where this comes from. You know, the panhandlers, you know, let's be honest. We have a whole subculture of people who are doing what they need to do to survive. I talk to the dope boys. I talk to everybody and tell them, listen, this ain't gonna change until you start to learn how to advocate for yourself. And so that's who I've been telling. You need to be at North Division to find out who these people are and to know who you need to hold accountable. When you can't go get the resource you need to help you move beyond your circumstance and your situation, when you don't know who to call because somebody is consistently dumping in your backyard and garbage is full of, we're trampling over garbage and police sirens, you know, all night in the community. You need to know how to engage. And that became evident to me when I realized many of my neighbors didn't know who to call when we had issues. They didn't feel safe calling MPD because they couldn't call, they didn't know that they could call anonymously and not be pointed out when they came to support. So for me, this is teaching civic engagement, not just engagement, but responsibility.
Yes, Brian. No, I see him. All right. So look, so for folks that are like, okay, this sounds good, I want to attend. Do I need to register? What do I need to do to be able to attend?
Yes, registration is priority. So we are expecting that people register for this event. They can go to Walnut Way's website at www.walnutway.com. But for the .org, and for the people who aren't tech savvy, who can't scan the QR code on the flyer, they can call Walnut Way at Brian
414-458-1984.
And a person can register you to attend the forum. Now, I don't expect that we're turning people away that day because we want everybody there, but we have limited space.
Okay, got it.
I was just going to reiterate what she said. You do want people to register, but people will not be turned away at the door. People can register on the day. Hopefully it'll be packed up and be a packed house, but people can register on the day at the door.
Also free childcare, light continental breakfast starting at 9 a.m. until supplies last, and a lot of different cultural moments. So there's going to be a cappella singing. There's going to be a live song at the end. There's going to be drumming and youth drumming outside.
Are we still doing the tablet?
All right, folks. So you have heard it. There is every reason to show up and participate. June 27th, this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. What time do doors open?
9 a.m. for
Doors
the
open at 9 a.m. for the breakfast. North Division High School, 101 West Center Street. Make sure that you are there. This is an incredible opportunity. Do not sit up and talk about it, and don't be about it, and don't show up. Thank you to the guests that came in today. Family, y'all know this is my last day for this week. I will talk to everybody next week. Hope to see you on Saturday. Team, I appreciate you. Peace, y'all.